Hello. I told you earlier. The sound. Are you sleeping? The sound. I hope you are not sleeping. The Arewa, are you sleeping? The no center. I hope you are not sleeping. Shine your eyes. You are not to be taught what to do.
To do justice to the man who tried to drag Biafrans or to drag some, not Biafran, because Biafrans doesn't support him. We have come to, to expose the Pandora document or the Pandora papers of Peter Obi. I want to make it very clear. Peter Obi, as an Igbo man, I do not have anything against Peter Obi personally. But as a Biafra agitator, and Peter Obi being an Igbo man contesting an election in Nigeria, I have problem with Peter Obi. And for those who always try to write me to stop talking about Peter Obi, I will not stop talking about Peter Obi until Peter Obi stop dragging Igbo name to Nigeria presidential election. And let me tell you, for those of you who will be saying, Atiku, where is Atiku? Where is Tinubu? Those people are Nigerians. They can contest election in North and in Lagos, but they cannot contest election in Biafra land. So they are not my problem. Atiku know very well that when we say no in Biafra land, is no. So it's not a problem to me. He's a Fulani man. He is one of those who have destroyed Nigeria with his fraud and criminality. So Atiku is not my problem. Tinubu is not my problem. My problem is an Igbo man who have benefited from the Nigerian national cake. It does not matter whether Peter Obi was a businessman before becoming the governor of Anambra State. I want to expose something to you today. I want you to bring all the 0.001% of Biafrans that are supporting Peter Obi, because you are not up to 1%. So I want you to invite them. I want to expose something about Peter Obi today. Some of you, and any day, Peter Obi begin to talk about the life of Biafrans, from the life of Ndi Igbo matters, I will begin to retract my step. But for now, I will continue to puncture him and punch him and puncture his tire every now and then. And today happens to be one of the days that I'm going to puncture the tire of Peter Obi. And I will try to make this broadcast as very short as possible, so that some of them will have the patience to watch and listening to how I will puncture his tire this evening. I want you to understand that Peter Obi, this evening, what you are going to know about Peter Obi this evening is one. Peter Obi is contesting to become the president of Nigeria because, according to him, he is not rich enough. Peter Obi is not rich enough. And that is the reason why he has come to contest for the president of Nigeria, so he can enrich himself the more. I am going to make you understand why. Peter Obi was asked, you have investment of $500 million in Pandora. Peter Obi responded that if he have that kind of money, he will not be here. So those of you shouting Peter Obi, Peter Obi, Peter Obi, I am just telling you that this night we will puncture his tire. So what Peter Obi tried to tell you is that if Peter Obi have money of up to $500 million, he will not waste his time to come and contest presidential election in Nigeria. We're going to refresh. You're welcome back. Did you hear what I said? Did you hear what I say? I want you to invite the P2B 0.001% of them and they come and listen to P2B, because I am not going to say it myself. So I want all of you to listen to the man you call P2B. We come with evidence. We don't make allegation against anybody. When we talk with evidence. So I have come to show you the evidence of P2B coming to become a president because he do not have enough money. So he wants his own share. So I want everybody to listen to him.
Of the leaked Pandora paper, former Governor Peter Obi has been hard-pressed. The revelations on his secret business dealings overseas. Similar document leaks before it, the Pandora, to expose the concealed fortunes in offshore tax havens, and in some cases, money laundering by some of the most powerful people in the world. But in a statement, Obi dismissed a report by Premium Times, which disclosed that the former governor had concealed a number of offshore businesses and investments when he was at the helm of affairs in Anambra State. According to Musikili Umajid, editor-in-chief of Premium Times, Obi may have violated the Code of Conduct Bureau and Tribunal Act by not declaring his or that of his family's beneficial ownership in the said assets. Majid, who was on the show last week, added that the former governor flouted the Nigerian constitution by operating a foreign bank account while in office and may have concealed his offshore investments to avoid tax. Well, in our time-honored tradition of giving all sides a right of reply, we're now being joined by Peter Obi, former Anambra State Governor, to give us his side of the story on the allegations made against him by Premium Times. Good morning, Mr. Obi, and thank you for coming on the morning show.
Good morning for inviting me here. Well, good morning to the viewers.
Well, the obvious question to ask is, are you guilty as charged? Because you were named in the latest scandal, Pandora Papers, as one of those involving setting up a secret company for the purpose of money laundering, illegal purchase of properties overseas, while you were in office as governor of Anambra State.
Now, I want to categorically say this evening that the question is, you were involved in illegal purchase of properties overseas while you were in the office. And I want you to listen, because before we go into this, addressing this issue now, I want you to know why this case we're not taking serious. Let me show you. I'm going to tell you the reason the case we're not taking very seriously. Some of you don't understand what is going on. Okay? So I'm going to this evening. What we do is that we come and you get brain. Your brain will be open and you'll be thinking like a human being. Now, before we go into analyzing this Obi, I want you all to understand that I can never leave Obi alone until Obi leave Biafra alone. I can never leave him alone. Now, why this particular Obi scandal and the Pandora died without investigation is because a lot of criminals like Obi were involved in this particular scandal. So if you look at this particular Guardian newspaper, this Guardian reported that Pandora Papers throwing stone in a marketplace. So before the leaking of this Pandora, they have warned the whistleblower that if you leak this particular Pandora document, you do not know who the stone is going to hit in the market, because almost all of them in Nigeria committed a crime. Obi was one of them. So it is because of this particular headline you see here, throwing stone in the market. Now, let us even go and read what this particular report say. This report say, the release of the much talked about controversial Pandora Papers is akin to throwing stone in a marketplace, which could fall on an innocent person. I do not know how, somebody who do not have a document, or who do not have account, or who do not have property, offshore account and all that, will now become a victim. This is not about throwing stone. You must have the property. Your name must be in the document for your name to be mentioned. So Pandora document is not a marketplace where you throw stone and they land on anybody's head. So anybody that the stone land on his head means that the person have his name or her name in Pandora document. So Obi is one of those. Now, because Obi name was one of the big names that was mentioned because he was a running mate to Atiku in 2019. So everybody became scared that if this document is released just because of Obi, a lot of people will land in trouble. And somebody say I should leave Obi and focus on the enemy. Obi is my enemy. As I'm talking to you, anybody that is talking about one Nigeria is my enemy. If Obi is not my enemy, who else is my enemy? In fact, let me tell you, Obi is bigger enemy than the Fulanis today. Because if Obi abandoned the presidential election as a result of the cleansing, ethnic cleansing, genocide happening in Igbo land today, we have won this war by 30%. So if somebody whose involvement validates the killings of our people in Imo State, which means he is very comfortable with Nigeria. If somebody whose involvement in election validates all the cries of Ohaneze Ndigbo, including this cry now, let me also show you. So I want you to understand that when I am talking about Obi, I am not just talking, sarcastic. I'm not just being stupid. You understand me?
It's a gathering of leaders from the southeast region led by the President General of Ohaneze Ndigbo,
validate
George Obi
whatever these
who is
people
making
were
his
shouting
first
and
official
agitating
public appearance since his country home was attacked by gunmen weeks ago.
So, if I do not talk about
Present for
Obi,
this
who
meeting
else
to
will I
chart a
talk
course
about?
for Ndigbo's here at the banquet hall of the Imo State Government House is the governor of the state, Hope Uzodimma, traditional
Everything
rulers,
concerned
politicians, and
here
others.
Is what Obi
top on the agenda is the 2023 presidency, the release of the proscribed IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu, insecurity in the zone, and one after the other, the leaders express their views.
Everyone knows that if there is anything Ndigbo craves, it is for one of their own to become the president of Nigeria. We have both material and human resource to lead the country.
And they are begging that Ndi Igbo should become the president of Nigeria, while Ndi Igbo actually have a better chance to rule themselves. Ndi Igbo must not be president of Nigeria. Okay? Ndi Igbo must not be president of Nigeria. Ndi Igbo have a better chance to rule themselves, become the Japan of Africa, become the Japan of the entire Africa. Ndi Igbo can become even more than Dubai. So why would you have this opportunity to be one of the best and you choose to be a president of Obi? Obi that used the money he should have used to build Anambra and invest it in his bank. He didn't build road. He didn't build hospital. He invested the money in the bank where he was the director. It is not enough. Obi went and invest the money and use it to buy property in offshore. And the name is Pandora document. That is what I have come to do today. And let me tell Nigerians, the reason why Obi did not go down for it was because they say, do not throw stone in the market because of Obi. So if the stone had been thrown, everybody, some of them will go down. So they don't want to throw this stone because just Obi. So they bring Obi issue out. But there are so many of them who also have the Pandora document. Now, what Obi said will shock you. Obi admitted that he invested in Pandora because of advice given to him by banks. That is not excuse in criminal offense. That somebody advised you is not excuse in criminal offense. So if the action of Obi is a crime against the Nigeria state, the excuse is not that somebody advised you to do it and somebody told you it is not against the law. The person who told you, is he a Nigerian lawyer? Did he know Nigerian law? That is what I have come to do this evening. So I have just given you a background. Why this Pandora document on this Pandora case died a natural death is because Obi is not the only one involved. That is why they reported do not throw stone. Now, having listened to why you did not hear the Pandora again, let us go back to Obi's interview. Because when we come here, we give you sense, okay? Let us go back to Obi for you to understand what we are talking about, because some of you are ignorant. And when we are talking about when we are discussing issue that has to do with intellectual capacity, don't come and put your mouth if you are not sensible, okay? Now listen and listen very attentively. I want everyone to listen.
On the morning show.
Good morning for inviting me here.
Well,
good morning to the viewers.
Well, the obvious question to ask is, are you guilty as charged? Because you were named latest scandal, Pandora Papers, as one of those involved in setting up a secret company, the purpose of money laundering.
A secret company.
Overseas.
Purpose of money laundering.
As governor of Anambra.
And that is what it is.
Well, thank you. Number one is that I'm not guilty.
Number one is that he is not guilty as charged. And let me inform you that Obi not guilty was not actually real. The real say he is not guilty will shock you. Now listen to him.
Trust company is a legitimate vehicle used everywhere globally for investment, savings, and estate planning purposes.
Did you hear that? That the trust company is what is used globally. Who said that it is not being used globally? Who said that trust company is not being used globally? That is why everybody is there. It is being used globally. But the question is, the legitimacy of you as a Nigerian serving governor investing in that your globally used company? That is the question here. Now, let us listen to him.
It's allowed by law everywhere.
He said it is allowed by law everywhere. We are not talking about everywhere law. We are talking about the law of Nigeria, the Nigeria Constitution, and the Nigeria Criminal Code, and in all laws in Nigeria. That is what we are talking about. We are not talking about the laws everywhere. What does the Nigerian law say?
In my particular case and that of my family, it was done on very valuable advice of our then bankers.
Are you hearing that? Obi is telling you now that him investing in Pandora, it was as a result of advice he received from the then bankers. He received from the... So what Obi is telling you now is that, please, this crime, I didn't know I was committing crime. I received this particular advice from a banker whom I believe he was advising me right. But does that mean that the action of investing in Pandora document or Pandora property or this offshore property, does it violate Nigerian law? Does it violate Nigerian law? And does it violate the laws on money laundering? That is the question. The question is not whether somebody advised you. So I want you people to listen to the corny answer of Obi. Obi admitted he invested as a result of advice he received from bankers. So the question now is, this advice that will be received from bankers, does it violate Nigerian law? And I want you to understand the reason why nobody is talking about this thing is because Nigeria is a criminal country. Obi himself said it. Obi said Nigeria is criminalized, is a criminalized country. He said it himself. So the reason why nobody is talking about this particular Pandora document is because a lot of people are involved. So if you go for Obi, you are going to expose some many Fulanis like Atiku and Co. So they don't want it to, they don't want people to talk about it. Otherwise, ask yourself, is this a defense? Is what Obi said now a defense? Because he's not telling you that a banker advised him. So do you understand what I'm saying? Excuses is not acceptable in criminal offense. I don't know. It's an excuse. Somebody advised me. It's not an excuse. After all, the people who facilitate the offshore account and all that are bankers. So the question is, this particular investment of Obi, does it violate Nigerian law? That is the question. It does not matter who advised you and who did not advise you. So Obi admitted of offshore. Now, this is a man, even though he is importing this and importing that, he used the money he should have used to develop Anambra State to invest. A typical business Igbo man, as they call them. He used it to invest. When he was leaving, he said he left money. Money was in the bank account of Anambra State for the next governor, Obiano, to come to squander it. Because he is not a leader. He is a saver. A financial, I don't know whether I would call him economist. Even economist, what are you doing if you can save 75 billion for somebody to come and squander it? There is no electricity. There is no road network in Anambra. There is no equipped hospital. There is no school that is well equipped. Everything is complete rubbish. And then you use the money to run your banking business. Only for somebody the same Obi to come today and tell you, he is the economics. He want to save Nigeria money. So if Obi become the president to the detriment of Ndigbo, and Obi become president for against your own freedom, Obi will go to Obi will go to Abuja and say, oh, immigration, you are losing a lot of money to print Nigeria passport. How much do you use to print Nigeria passport? They said they are using 1 billion to print Nigeria passport. Okay, let us minimize the pages so we can save 500,000 or 500 million. We will cut 500 million there. Obi will go to custom. How much do you generate in Nigeria Port Authority? We generate this amount. Okay, now can we increase it so that you will make more money from there? How much is so he will go there and start saving money. Because when they are talking about this thing, it baffles me. Look at him here admitting that he invested in the offshore company from the advice he got from his banker. Now listen to him again.
Thank you. Number one is that I'm not guilty. Trust company is a legitimate vehicle used everywhere globally for investment, savings, and estate planning purposes. It's allowed by law everywhere.
All right.
In my particular case and of my family, it was done on very valuable advice of our then bankers.
Listen to that too. In the case of him and his families, which means I'm going to read the paper here. It means that his family also were involved because I have read the document where the daughter's name was mentioned. So it was because of valuable advice from bankers. So that valuable advice, does it break Nigeria law? Was it a breach of the Nigeria law for you as a sitting governor to invest in an offshore company?
In my particular case and that of my family, it was done on very valuable advice of our then bankers, Lloyds TSB. This is what they did to all their international clients.
Are you hearing that? Obi is relying his defense on the advice he received from a company or from bankers that may not even be Nigerians. And he said, this is what they did to all their international clients. Who care? Who care what they do to international clients? Who care what they advise to other international clients? Who care how they handle the international client? Nobody care. The only thing we care is, what did you do with Anambra State money? That is all we care. Who care about this is how they do it? International client are not Nigerians. Some of them are Nigerians, of course. Some of them that you don't want their name to be mentioned. So I want to inform Biafrans today that Obi's name and Obi have admitted to have committed the crime of Pandora. And he is justifying this crime as a result of advice he received. And this is a man who everybody is shouting for now. I don't need to go to Tinubu. You people know how he carry a bullion van. I do not need to go to Atiku. You also know what Atiku is. But this is Nigeria for you. And they call them the three best. Three best. Their hands are not clean. Three best. They use Nigeria money, invest it in abroad. Atiku own was about $40 million the last time. But that is not what I'm here. Now, I want to now tell you that Obi actually haven't gotten rich enough. That is why he decided to go into presidential campaign to possibly become the president, so he can now enrich himself to get $500 million. I want you to listen to this.
Who operated at the time I lived in the UK, they will help you to see that he formulated a trust company.
Are you hearing that? He said in the UK, let us go back again. The question now is that, how conversant is this company in the UK? How conversant are they with the Nigerian law?
All their international clients who operated at the time I lived in the UK, they will help you to see that you formulate a trust company.
Are you hearing that? Who, the time he lived in the UK, and he was the governor of Anambra State and owning company, offshore company, and investment against Nigeria law. Listen.
Offshore, and that is what we did. This company,
and that is what we did,
was never used to launder money.
This company was never used to launder money. It is not whether you launder the money or you don't launder money. Did you open an account and did you have investment in offshore? Whether you launder money or you don't launder money is secondary, because that is, part of the crime. The main crime is that, did you invest, did you create any offshore company? Did you invest in a trust account? Did you invest, did you make a Pandora? Do you have any asset in Pandora? That's all. Then we begin to talk about the money movement. The money movement is the secondary part of the crime.
Before, during, and after till date. So it wasn't used anytime I was in office for anything.
It wasn't used anytime you are in the office for anything. So what is the essence of the company? It wasn't used anytime. What is the essence of the company?
2, it was never used to buy property. Before I went into office, during the time I was in office, and after the time I was in office, it was strictly trust company, that savings and family planning that was strictly used to support our borrowings, which we even invested.
To support your borrowing. Are you people hearing this man? This man said the account was never used to purchase anything. It was never used to launder money. It was never used for anything. And then he went further to say it was used for family saving and to support borrowing. My people, are you hearing that? What this man is telling you now is that, let me tell you how this crime works. Some of them don't know. Let me tell you how the crime works. So what this man did now is that he told you that the money was never used for anything, okay? Or the account was never used for anything. He said it's for family savings and family planning. So, and the account were only used to support borrowing. Whatever the hell that one means, I don't know. But let me tell you, from an experienced person in this kind of crime, because I have been involved, in investigating crime like this. But let me tell you how this thing works. So if he come now to, he opened this account, he call it his trust account and all that, and to him is for family planning and for savings and all that. So the account has never purchased anything. The account has never laundered money, but the account was used to support borrowing, which means the borrowing is happening somewhere else. Okay? The money will be moved to this particular trust account, and then, he called it savings. So the money will be borrowed by a different company, and that money from that trust account will be moved to support that borrowing. Do you see the circumvention of the law? Do you see how the money is being laundered? So actually, the money that Obi is talking that he did not launder money through this account was a lie. He laundered money. And the way money was laundered was when he go using another company to borrow money and then use this particular trust account to support the borrowing. That is laundering. Do you understand me? Do you understand the way the money was laundered? Because the money, I do not understand what he's trying to say. Anyway, you have a company. The company borrow money. And then you have account somewhere. The account now is what you use. So then basically, Obi is using the offshore account to service the borrowing from another company. And he said it is not money laundering. Do you understand? So Obi did, instead of Obi moving money directly to the account, to the company, he will be busted. So what did he do? He used the company to borrow money. I used the trust account to pay the borrowing. Do you understand what I'm saying? Are you understanding me? I have to explain it better. So that he said it himself, I didn't say it. Okay? Because the point is that all these sneak and poop professors and they will never understand this thing, So you need to be in an international level of how this thing is working for you to understand it. Ordinary person will never even the way he explained it now, he did not know that he have actually exposed himself. Okay? So what did he say? He said that company was never used to purchase anything, right? And he's correct. It was never used to launder money, but that is a lie. Because he actually admitted that the account was used to launder money. How did this happen? He borrowed money from another account using a different company. Instead of sending the money he's sending as a family planning or family saving, using it to fund the company, he didn't do that. So what he did is to borrow money using a company name. So when he borrowed that money, he uses this offshore company or account to service the borrowing. I want you to listen to it again.
Office for anything. This company was never used